So we're on. It is
Right.
Thursday. Yeah, man. Testing 1 2 1 2. We're
Yes,
in the
one, one.
house. All right. Welcome once again to our weekly podcast. It is Read Between the Lines on Sea Smoke, and we do this every week. We have no sacred cows again, no scapegoats, no agenda, personal, political, or otherwise. We deal with the issues up front in a fair and unbiased way. We are in Belize City. We'll be joined shortly by Jeremy Spooner, who has become a mainstay on the show right now, and people have always enjoyed his views and matters. Though he is of the Caucasian persuasion, he's not a terribly bad guy.
No,
Evening,
I'm not a
Jeremy.
bad guy for being white. Cool, cool.
You could pass. You could pass.
Yeah.
No, man. But at the end of the day, I believe at some point, Jeremy, and do you see it happening anytime soon where we can indeed judge each other by the content of
Hi,
character as
Mr.
opposed
Cohen.
yes,
Good evening,
yes.
sir. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. I interrupted you, Mike. You can say
you're not sorry, but that's all right.
that's
Um,
all right.
Joe, good evening, sir. How you
Good
doing?
evening. Good evening.
All
Good
right,
evening.
everybody's spiffy and up and punctual on time. Yeah. All right, so we're again meeting to discuss some of the pertinent issues of the day, some of the things that are trending, that are making the news. The commissioner is back in the driver's seat. A report has been delivered to the prime minister, and apparently he's exonerated. Any thoughts on what's gone on there? How you look? Any problems with that, Jeremy? What do you think?
Well, I guess the noise out there is that a lot of people aren't too happy about it. Personally, I don't know if a thorough investigation was done to find out what really went on. I think the only thing that's against him is the contradiction where he didn't get it right at the very beginning when he said no police were involved, and then he made a mistake about the vehicle, and I think that sort of got to his credibility. Um, and so, if that happened under his watch, also his credibility has been affected there. In other countries, especially in England, with a scandal like that, a lot of people would step down and they would appoint somebody else. But
But I
In
uh,
Belize, we just let it blow over like a little breeze, and then back to the same game again.
I don't know. I find that we are trying to make it a scandal more than it is a scandal. I believe what he said originally, and what I got from it was that it was not an official police um, production, if you
That's
will.
what. Yeah, he said no
Uh,
policeman was involved.
right. I don't know that the words were no police were involved. He said it was not an official police
No, he did.
operation.
I remember seeing the tape. It said that no police were involved, and he had looked at the tape too. He had seen the tape. You know. So
Okay. Yeah, I have to go back and look on the tape again because I really got
yeah,
that. The impression I got was him saying, "Well, you know what? This is nothing official or nothing from the government. Whatever happened there, somebody just three people pick up the man and carry him across
yeah.
the border."
He may
That's-
have meant that, but I think a lot of people took it when he said no policeman was involved. It meant that it was another group of people that took the guy Budna away, as opposed to policemen. So that's what I think. Maybe that's what he meant. That it wasn't a police sanctioned kidnapping. That's
Yeah,
probably
it
what he
was
meant.
not. It was not sanctioned by the police. That's what I got
Yeah,
from it. Of course, everybody wants to make it, I'm really puzzled by this, and I told because a couple of times I posted about it. A couple of people were accusing me of being obsessed with Budna. But if there's any obsession, what I'm seeing now is it looks like Jules is not going to let go of this. I mean, it was 4 or 5 stories last night, and the night before, and I'm like, really? But I don't. What I'm seeing, Jeremy, is that Jules has a hard on for Gianni Brasino. He doesn't like Gianni Brasino apparently. He doesn't like
Do you
the.
know any reason why? Have you do you know
I
any, or you
I
can't
I I,
say?
I don't know because I was looking at some of the past interviews. Is it something that Janice said that he thinks makes him look bad? Or is just because he's a UDP operative. I mean, let's face it. It's Channel 7 now a UDP station
Yeah,
and was created from that. Now he's gotten a lot of credibility from a lot of people, but I'm finding that again the news are like a lot of interviews with Chase Pantan, Patrick Faber. A lot of the stories has to do with UDP and when are they going to get their act together? What are they doing? How come they're not having a mass demonstration? Um, I don't know. Are they what you've seen this from the outside, Jeremy? And I thought that you were of one were one of the few that was really sincere in what you wanted to do as far as securing good governance and
yeah.
they the matter are not necessarily PUP or UDP, but getting a government in place that will do the right thing by the people.
Well,
Are
I
you?
thank you for you seeing that, because
No,
there was no ulterior motives to me to get a job with UDP or to get some position. It was from the heart, huh?
well, obviously you didn't get a job, so maybe I don't know if you so. But
I wasn't asking when they told me that I was going to be rewarded. I told them, then you missed the point of why I was involved in this
oh,
association.
but did the government say you would get rewarded, or were people saying
This
that
is
you would get rewarded?
before UDP became government. Some of their
Uh,
people would tell me that. Yeah, some of their
okay,
people
okay,
told me that.
yeah, you.
Even well, actually, even Dean Barrow asked me if I would run for the UDP, and I told him no. I prefer to do what I'm doing as a watchdog in the
Advocate for good
association
governance.
concerning the
Yeah.
research.
So,
Yeah.
well, having said that, now and looking at the government as it is today, are they doing a good job? If you was to say, how am I doing? Would you
I
believe
have
that?
no problems with the PUP right now.
Yeah.
I have no problems.
Any problems with the UDP? Any problems with the UDP?
Well, the UDP are not together. I think they had a wonderful opportunity when we were, because actually it was a fight that the ACB did, and then the unions got involved and all that got them into power, and they broke their record. They had never overwhelmingly won like that before, and I was hoping that they would have done a lot of things they promised, and they would have implemented a lot of things to regulate themselves and so on, which never occurred. So I was disappointed with their performance. Yeah,
Yeah, Joe.
I didn't get what I was fighting for.
Uh, and you see any hope of it coming from this government? You see a better inclination towards that end?
Well, they always say that in the second term, all the stuff comes out of the closet. So we'll have to wait and see. One thing that bothers me is that they don't want to sign on to, is it UNAC, the
Uncak,
UN.
uncak.
Yeah.
I believe we did sign on to it, though. It's just not
You did?
implemented, right?
Oh, okay.
Uh,
All
um,
right.
Joe, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, what happened? I wasn't privy. Well, I wasn't privy. But you said that the investigation was completed, and what was the finding?
No, there was a report was handed. I don't know that they're calling for another investigation now, an independent investigation. But the finding that came forth was that Commissioner Rosado was not culpable in any way, that he
Yeah.
didn't do anything. They couldn't find anything that he did wrong that would warrant his being removed from office.
Okay, so that's that finding regarding the commissioner.
Right.
But it's not finished yet. They are asking for an independent investigation. No, no.
Yeah, but obviously they're saying he's not in it, so the investigation would be who did it and why they did it. Now, I don't know what happens if it turns out that how they find out how they did it, why they did it was because the compol told them to do it. I don't know what would happen then, but I don't know how they would find that out either. What kind of investigations do they do? because they could look at the cameras, but the camera, the footage, regardless of how clear they could make it, is not going to show the commissioner or the prime minister giving any directives to these people. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. This third investigation, saying it's independent. You understand what that means? That it's going to be what I mean by independent investigation.
All right, the police will not be involved. I heard Dickie saying in an interview that he's looking at the of Lucas, who is supposed to have impeccable character. No stain on him. He went from prosecutor, from police to prosecutor to judge, and that he believes that a man like that could put together a panel maybe of other former prosecutors and members of civil society, that could come up with an independent body outside of the police and see what they could come up with.
Well, my concern is this.
In a
First,
country like Belize, it's kind of hard to find independent people, isn't
You're
it?
not lying. You're not lying. That is true.
Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
yeah. Let's go to the beginning when the matter was first made public. I guess through one of the media houses, and then the prime minister ordered an investigation, and apparently he gave them a time frame. In other words, it was to be done maybe in some haste, no? And then the outcome of that was that he felt that the investigation was incomplete. So therefore, he decided they should do another investigation. Well, this investigation is completed, as I'm being told, but they are going over an independent investigation. But at this point, it seems to me that that last investigation that was done is in fact indemnifying the commissioner, meaning that they find no evidence that he was in any way involved.
Right, and in fact, he's back in office.
So my question would be this: if that is the finding, then to me, what was that investigation about? Was it about trying to determine whether the commissioner was involved or not?
I imagine that I mean the crux of that. Yeah.
I thought that the investigation, seeing that it was the second one, it was to determine exactly what happened. You know what the focus should have been, and whether the man that was removed, whether he was removed contrary to due process. I thought that was the substance of all these investigations.
Well, the
And
first, well, the,
go ahead, Ishmael.
I was just going to say the first report that was under the Commissioner of Police Rosado, and when Johnny received it, or when the cabinet received it, they found it incomplete and not very well done. And so that is when, if I'm not mistaken, they asked him to be temporarily resignation, and then they appointed the young lady, the police lady Anderson, right? And
Right.
so she did this report that they've just given, correct? And now with that one there, where people are saying, how can the police investigate the police? And Rosado is reinstated, and now they're asking for an independent investigation now. So that's where we are now.
You are saying
So
that
I think the
the reason
second,
why the cabinet
yeah,
is asking for an independent is because people are asking for it. But there's something
I
about
would
this.
think so. Yep, the people aren't
Yeah,
happy.
to me, it's a little bit. It's getting more and more complicated for me, quite frankly. Because if the second investigation comes up with one conclusion, apparently one, I don't know how many. So what was the result of this investigation? Is it just that Rosado is in no way
Culpable.
involved for whatever suspected wrongdoing may have happened? So therefore, I didn't know that that investigation was to make a determination for the commissioner.
Well, I don't know that it was that. What if that was what it was for? I know that is what came out of it after it was concluded. Now, if there's something else, I don't know. I think I saw the letter though. I scanned it briefly, but it does say that as far as they found, there was no reason to tie Commissioner Rosado into anything, and that the recommendation was that he be returned to office forthwith.
Fine.
Um,
No. Could you say then that the inference from this,
mm.
where they are not going for an independent investigation, that there seems to be evidence of high suspicion that something may have gone wrong? Because why are you going for the third one?
Unless they're just trying to appease the public appetite for it, no?
But if it's to
Because,
appease the public appetite, that's not the way we are to be governed.
well, Joe, I don't know. As far as that is concerned, there are many things in there that we could look at and say that is not how we are to be governed. Um, Something like this, though, I think that much ado about nothing. I think now waste of time, now waste of money. We have bodies that fall all over the city. We had 8 shootings this just weekend alone. Couple of people dead. One baby get shot in the back. A couple of gang figures have been terminated, and we're here because at the end of the day, what are we trying to do? Bring back Budna? Because I saw a letter from Budna where he sent to Jews, I imagine, to say, please expedite my return because I want to get in here to make sure everybody that was guilty be brought to trial.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I think you said it in a very articulate way. You believe it's a waste of time. And I am beginning to ask myself, indeed, what are we really doing? What
What's
is
the
it?
end game? What's the end
Yeah,
game?
because if you want to tell me that it's just to satisfy the people, so suppose the people holds to the opinion that something was wrong, and you conclude that there was nothing went wrong, then you want to keep the investigate. That's why I'm saying that's not the way we are to be governed. Once the authority did the right thing to try to get down to what was evidence of suspicion of something going wrong, and you come to the conclusion from your investigation that there was no such wrongdoing, make publish the report, make it known, make it see the light of day, and then you conclude that give it to the director of public prosecution, and then let the director of public prosecution make the decision. From what we see here, there is no reason to go any further. There's no
I really don't. In fact, what can you find? What further is there bar somebody coming forward and admitting that something happened?
Well,
Uh,
that's what I'm saying because I'm following up on what you are saying and I'm agreeing with you except for a different reason. I am saying that we are making a mockery of ourselves
I believe so. I believe
Well,
so.
because if you have reason to believe from the beginning that based on the information you got, you thought that something may have gone wrong, then you do an investigation. That investigation should have come up then, well, listen, let's, we believe something seems to have gone wrong. Give this thing to the DPP and make the DP makes a decision. That's how it works.
yeah.
But now
Um,
we're going for a third investigation. This doesn't sound good for us.
Hmm.
I,
What
I,
are
I
we, what
question,
are
I
we looking for
question,
now?
I question AI, and it says the only thing about this report is that Dr. Rosado was cleared of any wrongdoing
Right.
by investigation led by Assistant Commissioner Suzette Anderson. And the only other thing it mentions that an independent investigation into the abduction incident has been recommended. So that's the
Correct.
only two things that came out of it. I would have thought, I was thinking that when they were doing an investigation, they would have come back with details who these policemen are and getting into that, what is going to happen to them and why did they do it? Who instructed them to do that? I thought it would have been really deeper, but it's not. It was
How
it was just to clear Rosado. That was basically what it looks like.
But that wasn't what I understand that investigation was to be about. The public thought and everybody left with the belief that the investigation was to make a determination where you move forward with charges which have to go then to the DPP.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
investigation should have then gone to the DPP. To the DPP decide, well, did anything go wrong that we should pursue it, or we don't, and then it comes to an end.
Well said. That's what I thought.
You
So
cannot
also.
have the people insisting and telling the DPP, listen, you better go back, you better go back. That's not how you govern a country, man.
But obviously, they're not going to be satisfied. These bloodthirsty
But
ones out there. Well, what do you do? What will make them happy?
to me, what you do, and I keep maintaining the whole purpose in my judgment, and I made that very clear to you on the show. To me, what we are doing is to ensure that we are protecting the public trust in the constitution, our rule, our base rule country. That's what we are doing. Now, to me, once you find that, listen, there is no evidence to suggest that anything went contrary to the law, give it to the DPP. The DPP says, well, no, there is no evidence to show that anything went contrary to the law. It's finished. You can't try people by public opinion.
Joe.
In a country where we are looking for justice, you don't take them out to courthouse and let the people decide who is right or wrong. No.
You know, the problem here is that Guatemala is involved. We have been raised, it has been hammered into us that no Guatemala, we don't want none to do with Guatemala. I heard the king say, he mentioned that he was delivered into enemy territory. And I'm saying, I don't know if we should be using this kind of language here when it comes. Why are we looking for this enemy or trying to make this enemy a bigger enemy, an enemy if it's not? I am listening to the president of Guatemala, and I hear, maybe I'm the only one hearing this, but I'm hearing the man saying we're gonna accept the ruling of the court. We're going to try and move forward in peace with our neighbors, including Belize. He has met with the prime minister, which in itself, we're not looking at that as a big thing, but it is a big thing because just by them meeting, he acknowledging the prime minister as a head of state of another state is saying a lot to me. So,
did you see his address on the UN? He was saying that we are the aggressors on the.
Well, that part of saying that, I mean, he's saying that because
he's trying to satisfy his people, huh?
They has to satisfy them, and not only that, we are going out there and they're confronting us. It's not like they're coming across and I know they've seen sightings of some boats out there and whatnot, but I think we're more paranoid than anything, man. I don't see any big move in Guatemala to try to invade Belize.
But Mr. Chairman, allow me to come in again. I really would like to, if I could try to clear up this matter good. To me, the issue of sensationalizing the Budna case, that is all right if the media wants to do it. That is all right if citizens want to do it. That is all right if the political opposition wants to do it. The point I am making is not about Guatemala. This is not an issue of Guatemala. This is an issue as whether Budna had gone through the proper process when he was taken from here. That's what we are trying to find out. That's all. It's not about Guatemala. It's not about the president. It's not about happening at the South Sudan.
But,
so that is essential.
You're saying that, but that all plays in.
Yes, it does, Mr. Chairman. But I'm saying
because first of all, they're making it. What I see, they're making it political. But to what end? To bring down the government, and then what? They don't even have an opposition in place to replace the government. The anarchy we look for? We look for chaos that we can't handle. What are we looking for exactly? What are we hoping to accomplish by any of this?
To me, I'm saying that, and I'm giving a lot of credence to this show, to the three of us who are here, that we have to defend the credibility and the integrity and the uprightness of the show that we are on. So therefore, we need to know when we speak on this issue, do not fall into those who want to sensationalize matters that has to do with justice. All I would say is this: the matter is dragging on too long to make a determination. The determination, to me, was never primarily whether Rosada was guilty or not. That could have been something tangential. The issue was whether that person was removed from this country in accordance with due process of our laws. That was all we had to determine. And I think we should stick to that. And the only thing we can say now is that it seems to me, from what I'm hearing, that which was to be the original determination has not yet been determined. And therefore, we could come to a conclusion now that it seems that the cabinet, for whatever reason, seems not satisfied about whether the due process are taking place, and that's what they are going for an independent. And it doesn't look good for us, quite frankly.
I'm trying, Joe, to figure out where and I was looking for it. Where in the Constitution does it say you cannot return an escaped fugitive to another country? Number one, and what is the violation of any law in the Constitution with this matter? What happened that violated the Constitution?
I would say that if you look to the sections within the 21, where it is in those 21 sections that our rights, our natural rights are determined.
Right.
So therefore, if a person is to be removed from this country, there must be a process. If another country finds that he had committed an offense over there, then the country applies to this country where the person is a citizen of. And then it goes through a due process. Now, what you will not find, perhaps in the Constitution per se, because the provisional law will deal with that. But the section that deals with your liberty and your rights, there will be provisional laws that is to protect that. So all I'm saying is that if somebody, one Belizean, in this case, let's go to the facts first. There was a Belizean that was convicted in Guatemala and was in prison. And then he fled and he came to Belize. All right, fine. It seems to me the proper thing to say that Guatemala would want back the person to serve the time. Now, there is a process you have to go through. You cannot just take the person and say, here, take him. No. And that's all everybody's talking
What are the reason for this process that you're speaking of?
Because he's a citizen of this country. And he has all the rights of a citizen under that constitution.
Regardless of his reputation. Yeah.
Regardless of his record, not reputation. Forget the reputation.
His record
A record of being spending 10 years in jail and being convicted in another country. I could understand if the government would say, well, make we see. But I'm thinking, my opinion is that Johnny caved. I would not have tolerated that for start with. I mean, I said, look at a man. We kept him 6 years too long, making a celebrity out of him. We should have returned that man the minute we found out that he was a fugitive from prison, knowing the record that he has here in Belize. All right, it might be naive.
Let me follow up on that, Mr. Chairman. Guatemala makes no requests, so we must pick him up and send him back because we hear say that he escaped.
No, but you're not just here. Don't we have don't we have diplomats over there? Don't we have people working for us over there? Aren't there people that we can find out?
Yeah, let's go through the process, and it won't take long. 2 more minutes and we can finish it. Did you see anything from Guatemala requesting the government of Belize?
I'm saying it doesn't matter.
It does.
It doesn't matter. We have diplomat. We have communication. We know what happened. There was no secret. We knew it.
Are you saying that Guatemala never had to request it? We must just pick him up and send him back.
I'm saying that. Yes, I'm saying that. Yes.
But then it's not that the way it works.
Listen, all we would have to do is find out. Well, here's how it should work. It should work that we have a communication with Guatemala. That's why we spend money to have an ambassador over there. We have an ambassador, don't we?
Yes.
Or we have somebody to represent us. Their job is to find out what is going on and improve the relation between the two countries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Would that not have been a step in the right direction for us to say? Well, then, why didn't we follow that process?
That's what I'm asking. What was the process that we used for him to go back?
Well, we mean the process was to wait 6 years to do anything.
No. We have become, I don't want to get ridiculous. Mr. Chairman, the simple thing which I find difficult, I don't see why is it so difficult for us to understand. Let's use the embassy then. We have an embassy there, they have one here. You can have done it through the diplomatic channels. Here's
something here. If you can't take him back, then what? I mean, what will happen? Keep him in Belize to do what? Now, this is the question. What do we want? To bring him back so we can do it the right way? Is that what we want?
Mr. Chairman, it's not what we want is to know whether he was taken from here accordance with the law. That's how we want to know.
And
has anybody tell us that yet? Did the investigation?
But you saying right now, you're saying right now due process. That is what the concern is about.
No, I am asking you all know. Sorry, I don't want a song if I'm against you on it. I'm asking. Did the investigation say that he was removed in accordance with the law? Did it?
Well, no, no, John Jeremy. According to what you got, that had nothing to do with
No,
that, right?
no, it
Therefore,
didn't mention
that
that.
was what the investigation was to be about. It's not about Rosado. The investigation was not about Rosado, Mr. Chairman. Everybody knows that the investigation was to determine whether he was removed from this country in accordance with the due process, which means the law. That's all.
And that
Why?
hasn't been fulfilled. No.
What do you think, Joe? Do you think is that is what is so very important and is driving Channel Seven to keep hammering this thing and keep it alive and doing so many stories related to this? Is it that they have nothing else to
No, no,
report about?
I would not trivialize it like that. I wouldn't say that. What Channel 7 motivates them, it's not for me to give an opinion on. I am saying to you that I, Joe Koya, citizen of this country, well aware of the Constitution, and my concern, like many others that I have met and many others that I have spoken to, is simple to make a determination
Mhm.
whether he was removed from here in accordance with our laws. That's all I want to do.
Can I ask you something, Joe? How many citizens do you know that have been picked up off the street and returned anywhere, not only Guatemala, just picked up arbitrarily and returned somewhere, law-abiding citizens now, not accused of anything, and you're saying there's no difference between citizens who abide by the law and citizens who don't? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Let me repeat again if you want to. Right? There have been fugitives from the United States before. There have
Right.
been, hold on, I can finish. There have been many cases where America, the United States, warned certain people from Belize because they have evidence against them in the United States for what they did wrong. And they go through the process. There were cases where they gone for the extradition and it failed. I could name one right now that is still in Belize because they failed at the extradition end. But some have gone through and they took them, they're not like carrying them back necessarily, you know.
Oh,
If
oh,
after
I see, I see, I see, I see. You don't know that maybe this extradition would not have worked, and little innocent little poor boy now would have still been in Belize,
no, no, that,
enjoying his life in freedom.
no, I think that's trivializing it, Mr. Chairman. I am saying to you
Uh,
that if Mr. Budna escaped, which we seems to, I think that's what is the fact supposed to be, he escaped from over there and he came here.
mm.
Now, it is only natural that Guatemala should want him back. Now, all we have to do now is to go through the process and get it done. That's all.
All right. So why didn't we?
Well, that is why they're supposed to be telling us by now whether they did it or not. I don't know if they did it. That's the investigation. Mr. Chairman.
Anyway, I
But even if we were involved in it, even if we were involved, we were only involved in it because of some apparently rogue cops that did this. Is that
no.
what the final decision was? That because the report hasn't mentioned anything about who did it and why they did it.
Greg Morrison said a while ago that the media is the fourth branch of
Yeah.
government. I think you're off on that, Greg. I think they're the fourth estate. But it's not the fourth branch of government, as far as I know. They have no. Is the media in any part of government, Joe? As far as you know,
No, no, I think he said the fourth branch, but it's not the fourth branch.
it's fourth estate. There's no. It's referred to as the fourth estate.
Yeah, some clarified it. The
Yeah.
media, to me, is simple one of the bulwarks for our democracy. Is to keep people informed. That's it.
Is
To
what.
me, this whole situation, if I can say something, let's forget who Budna is in the sense of
That's right.
his criminal record.
That's right.
He's a Belizean citizen and he has rights.
That's right.
Okay, his rights apparently were violated by somebody in Belize, and this report hasn't mentioned anything about it. All it has done is said that Mr.
Ah,
Rosada was not involved. That's
I
all.
finally get through. I finally got through. Mr. Spooner, you put it so good. That's exactly what it's about. That's all. It finished right there. It
I
is-
I understand. I understood from the start where they said, Joe. I don't know. I can't say, and I can't separate Budna and what he has done and the type of person he is
Understand
from
that.
any of that. I can't. I can't just say, all right, forget Budna, it's not about Budna. It is about Budna. If Budna had not gone over there and committed those crimes, we would not be dealing with this. Again, too, if Budna had been picked up when we knew that he was a fugitive and returned, a 16-year-old boy who was shot in his house might have been alive still. Now, we don't know how many children were victims of his, because only one then catch on with was able to try and find, because knowing our prosecution branch is not by perfect by any far stretch. Even our investigative, as is being shown right now by these investigations done, is not top notch. So yeah, go ahead, Joe.
To share something with you, which I learned from a distinguished Supreme Court judge of this country. I think one of the best we had. And it's something he said to me, which I was aware of, but not to the extent that I thought I was. He said, Joe, let me tell you something. When you are sitting on this bench, and we are a part of the judiciary, which you are to decide the facts and the evidence in accordance with the law and to make a decision, never allow your emotions to make those decisions. He said, but we all have emotions. He said, where our emotions comes in, let it have the benefit of our intellect. So if Budna is known to be a criminal, and Budna now comes up for a trial because he's alleged to have done something wrong, you seems to want to take the position that Budna must be giving a fair trial, but make sure to hang him in the morning. That's not justice, Mr. Chair.
I hear what you're saying there, and that applies to every argument that you would have, I would think. And it's not wise to let your emotions run with you. So I give that. But by the same token, I do not see how we can separate this individual, his character, his propensity for doing the wrong thing over and over again. And because that has been, and the fact that he was likable, the fact that he gonna take one key from one drunken man, I think that we did it for the Belizean people. And he was charismatic. I said myself, one of the media houses should have given one job.
Well, let me try to put your opinions, your feelings, your emotions, and let me put them in perspective. If you were in the court of public opinion, what you were saying would make good sense. But we are not talking about a court of public opinion, Mr. Chairman. We are talking about a court where there is a judiciary, the third branch of government. That's what we are talking about. But I could understand people who are victims of Budna would not want to see me hang in the morning. So we can hold our emotions all we want out here.
Not only the victims, I think anybody who could put themselves in the place of the victim.
I'm saying I could understand why hundreds of people would want to see him in jail right now. But that doesn't mean that when I have to make a judgment now as a citizen of this country,
all right,
based on the constitution of this country, then I have to be above that.
We don't want to belabor it.
That's right. But it's important.
We don't want to belabor it and go too far. But what do you see as the best case scenario now that we are where we are? Because Guatemala no get back. You know that.
I would have thought by now we would have come to the conclusion as to what happened. And that I find very disturbing. After so long, we cannot come to that decision.
I'd like to know who breached our security and our and the rights of our citizens. That's what I'd like to know.
That's right, and I think that's what
this report hasn't shown anything about that.
That's right.
And this new independent one, when that happened.
I don't want to disappoint you, Spooner, and a lot of people might be disappointed because I know Guatemala came and grabbed Budna. And in fact, they're saying they practically know who did it. If Guatemalan security forces had come across the border, grabbed Budna and carried him back, I would have had a problem with that.
Okay, all right.
I hear what you're saying. We don't know how it happened. That's what they were supposed to know.
Well, we pretty much got a good idea what happened.
So you think maybe the situation was that our authority just wanted to get rid of him, then grab him and dash him across the border?
That's a possibility. That's a possibility.
Another
possibility is there was a bounty on his head.
Is it a probability? Or just a possibility?
No, it's a possibility. You're not going there. They're not care me then.
Well, it's
I,
a possibility. Then everybody could agree with that. It's a possibility.
yeah.
But that's not how you make the judgment.
But I'm not gonna go. I'm not going to open a limb with that. I don't know. I really
That's
don't
right.
know.
That's the point.
I'm
That is
saying
it. We
there could
don't
have,
know. None of us know.
there could have been a bounty.
I
And we
believe
deserve
I
to
believe
know.
by no, Mr. Chairman, by no. I think Mr. Spooner put it right. We want to know, and by no, we should have known. That's what we are saying.
I know, and if you don't know, is this a hill we die on? I mean, really? But
No, I will say that the conclusion of this topic and this noble show is that we all agree that what we believe we should have known, we have not yet known, and we hope indeed this could quickly come to an end and finish this episode.
I asked a question the other day. Are we gonna be able to move on post Guatemala? Should the ICJ come out and say, "Listen to me, we were Belize, your territories are intact," which I believe we pretty much come to that point. Um, and Guatemala comes out and says, "You know what? The time we put this foolishness to, and we need to move forward." Do you believe that the Belizean people would be willing to move forward, or would they still be very suspicious and keep wondering if Guatemala then set way up or they come for you?
I would say, Mr. Chairman, that if a judgment, no, if when the judgment is given and the judgment lives up to my expectation, that in fact the territory remains intact, of course we have to deal with the matter of what the Maritime Area Act was to deal with. And
Mhm.
that's the end of it. I would say fine. As long as Guatemala recognize and confirm to that decision, for now I think we're supposed to try to do everything to build one good relationship through trade, through diplomatic relations, through sports. And hopefully they will never ever raise a claim against Belize again. That is how I would hope it happens.
I
Uh,
found
I don't
this.
want to live. I don't want to live. I will not be living with the belief that Guatemala will certainly not adhere to that decision if it's in favor of Belize. I would be prepared for it as a government that if it doesn't. But I don't think we should be mouthing that to the people that Guatemala will not be doing it. How do they know that?
Gregory, you're not serious. You're not serious, Gregory. Belizeans don't have any lingering hard feelings against Guatemala. Are you kidding? We were bred to hate Guatemala. We were bred that way. I heard it coming up day and night. I mean, and you hear it on the radio, you hear it everywhere. And the one part of we culture, and that is my concern because culture is king. And when
But
you get that so ingrained in your culture, it's hard to get rid of that. Almost one reliance upon that hatred.
But I wasn't brought up to hate Guatemala, not either by my parents nor by the institutions that educated me. Which school you gone to when they inbred in you the hatred for Guatemala? I knew of the situation on the ground level. Yeah, people don't like Guatemala because there's a threat there that they're going to take away Belize from them.
You
But
never, you never,
not
they
institutionalized.
didn't
Don't
discuss it
use
in
it.
school with you. The
No,
Guatemalan claim
to
wasn't,
hate, to hate.
but yeah, but basically that. That was to
I
me, that
wasn't
was,
taught that.
all right. Gregory, if they accept the ICJ rule in favor in Belize, I don't get that. If
We should welcome Gregory to the conversation. Welcome,
Belize
Gregory.
don't have any lingering hard feelings against God. I don't agree with
I,
that. Yeah, Gregory, where's a part of the conversation? I'm not. I'm just not agreeing with that. I believe that that is there, and that is a big impediment to us moving forward with establishing good relations with. Although we already have relations with Guatemala on many levels, see what I posted a while ago that over 900 Belizeans come across for go to school every day. They
and
were
I just saw on the news that they get free bus service to and from Guatemala. Is that true?
courtesy who?
Courtesy of us?
We pay for their bus to come and
Yes,
go.
that's what the news item referred to. Yeah.
Which news said that?
I think it was Channel 7, if I'm not mistaken. I can look it up.
I don't believe that.
I
I
saw it
can't.
on Facebook. It was on Channel 7 News or something like that.
That would be incredulous. No, I don't think that. I don't think I
Very
agree.
Okay,
wrong.
I'll find it for you while
Why
you and
would
Joe
they do
talk.
that, Joe? You know anything about that? With
Yeah,
any,
yeah. I don't know who they pay for the bus, but every day they are bus across to come to
yeah,
school.
oh, that, but Joe, they
I don't
bust
know who.
across. That's another argument here. We know they come
That's
by
what I'm
bus.
saying. I don't know. I know they come, but I
Do
don't know
you
who.
do you believe but believes pay for it to bring them and take them back?
I would not be surprised if they do. And the
Why
reason,
why why not? Would you agree with it?
well, if you want to build a relationship with students, young people,
You want to build relationship with them, but you don't want to build it by handing them putting over a wanted criminal. How are you so selective in the process?
well, let me
Is
see if I could
that
get back
that
on.
should have been gone through a process then?
No, let me see if I will get back on track with the issue. Because I want to come back to something that Mr. Morrison said about lingering, and I think that is a very important word, lingering. Let me, Mr. Chairman, the
Uh,
government, as you know, boss people, free students in the rural areas. They bus them to school. The government provides that. The only reason why I'm not saying it is happening, but I would not have been surprised if it is. But again, I have no evidence, so I don't even want to speak on it. Though I have been in the south for 2.5 years, running that border from Cardenas right down to the Saskatoon mouth. And let me say this: that whole border, they were well respected of each other.
now you see, all
They
right,
come in,
hold,
now
hold, hold
they
on,
come
hold
to
on, hold on.
PG, the same thing. The whole border. Who was the problem? The soldiers used to come. They
But
land.
what that got to do with busing children over from across the border?
Well,
Because that's not what the topic, that what we the deal with you.
all right, let me come back to that. But I don't know. I don't know who.
All right. So let me say here because this is a part of the
I don't know
problem.
who paying for it.
Let me finish this. This is a part of the problem we have with our arguments because Greg is posting we're spending $3 million per year to educate students from Guatemala. Now, see, when he said that, along with the fact of us saying that they're bus, that is to suggest that we as part of that money is being spent to bus children back and forth, which there's no evidence of that, apart from something that Spooner read somewhere.
Yeah, I'm
And
looking for it.
just ask AI, man. Okay, AI used to seem to have all the answers there with you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't I can't see that as being true. I would not agree with that. I could understand you drop them at the border, but and pick them up at the border, but paying buses to go across to take Guatemalan children to home and bring them across, that makes no sense, Joe. And I don't see how you could agree
No, no,
you
no,
would
no. I didn't say I'm agreeing with it. I don't say that. I didn't say. I said I don't know who is paying for it, but they go to school. I know for a fact that they go to school in
yeah,
Belize.
we know that fact. We know that fact. But you said that you would not have a problem with it. Would you not have a problem with that? Why?
Let
Because
me
they're
let me tell you
children?
why. Let me tell you why. It was you who said it, and I agree with you fully. We have to begin to build our relations
I agree.
with Guatemalans. Now, I believe one of us who knows Guatemala well enough that the people on those border lines, yes, when they come across into Belize, they are coming because they are finding a better life here. That's what they come for. But you'll find that on that border, the people they live peaceful with each other. When you look at all of the borders down from the Cadenas side right down, a matter of fact, when the soldiers were coming up the Saskatoon, they have a place named Cadenas. And that is the Belize side. It was owned by an Englishman that was living in PG. He came from the UK. 10 years there. He was a forester, good in forestry. And he owned Cadenas, that part of it. They used to pay. The soldiers come, they land their things on the Belize side and then pay a tariff to him. And then they go over the other side, they go over to their side. When we go there, we go over to for them side, we go by the army camps. And we would meet with them and talk with them. So that whole border, for the many years I was there, they were friendly with each other. There was no side of clash. The problem is that when they bring in the military, these ones were the colonists are soon because we never had no problems with them before. So to me,
I
to coming back, sorry, I must conclude here. We build preparation to sports, we build relations to trade. If the government were to say, listen, these children live right across the border. not far from where they come to school, because they don't have any school in their areas. They can't go to no school. So we entertain them already by allowing them to come to our school.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
saying, if the government choose to say, well, listen, we the bus for we children from there anyhow. And if they come right to the border, which is what they may be doing, they live right at the border. So if they come to Arenal, we're half the pound, Guatemala and half the pound for each side. And why did they pick up for we children? They pick up theirs and they bring them to school. I wouldn't see anything wrong with that.
no, that's where we would part ways because there is a border. There is a border, and the thing that about picking them at that's the way I said maybe if they pick them up on the border, I can understand that. But this is not what is being suggested. It is being suggested that we pay for their bus fare, going and coming. And Greg is saying that is true. The current PM said the border is now militarized because of drug trafficking. I don't know how that fits in there. I don't know. Militarized by who? The Guatemalans? Or Belizeans, because if that drug trafficking, all right. See, this is what Greg is saying. We are spending $3 million per year educating Guatemalan students. $3 million every year, but that has nothing to do with the bus fare back and forth. That I imagine that with teachers and whatnot. But we have to have schools anyway for our children. So I don't know how you come up with a figure like that. What do we feed them when they're in school? I doubt that very much. We don't feed our own children.
Mr. Greg might be doing a bipartisan calculation.
I don't understand.
I don't know any part in the budget, and I think 3 million I would have recognized it as a line item in the budget, but I don't know of any part of the budget that has 3 million to educate them. I think what Mr. Gregory is doing an estimate, and I think he should tell us that. He might be doing an estimate because there is government is spending and
there's a cost to education. We know that.
They come.
Uh-huh.
And I would say that is what, but if you have a figure of 3 million, I would know where. I mean, I'd like to hear how you get that 3 million. But we're doing core costs for them. That's no doubt.
Yeah, I am hoping. I again it from all indications, I don't see how we could lose that case at the ICJ. And we spoke that last week about Serrano, who did acknowledge Belize's independence, and they took the court to the case to the Supreme Court after they kicked him out of office, and the Supreme Court in Guatemala confirmed that he had a right to do it. It was within his purview to do what he did. So I really don't see it, but I'm thinking that we should be doing more, though, and as opposed to focusing on that, do more to get ourselves together, our people together. We need to have something in place where we there's somewhere we try to get our different ethnic groups to understand that one Belize, all of it are Belizeans and Belizeans first, not any ethnic group that you are. You can, and that's why I was always impressed with the former PM Said Musa was saying we have to be wary of balkanization. Balkanization can happen when you allow people to develop their kind of enclaves like that and decide you want to live by yourself. You have to be, and that is my objection to the Mayan claim for part of culture where they want that as a homeland, so to speak. We're gonna run into trouble.
Well, I cannot differ with you when it comes to the Mayan indigenous rights to land. Based on the international convention which we sign up to, it is true that we should obey the decision of the court. But I have a concern, and I have shared it with others, is that the Belize situation is
But before you pass there, was there a decision, or did the court just say go back and work it out amongst yourselves?
No, man, there was a decision, but the decision came because of there was on a card, I forget the exact word, a consent order.
Okay.
Before the matter was heard by the court,
Correct.
there was a consent order where they agreed before, and then when they gone before the court, And the court ended with that, and they made a claim for money which was not granted. So all the court did was to endorse the consent order. So they agree that they should get land for the indigenous people. I am saying that I understand all of that, except that I would have hoped that when we look at the situation in Belize, and I was looking to see where else they would have had a similar situation, and I can't find any, but maybe they exist.
Anywhere else in Belize or in the world?
In the world, what happened?
Well, the native Indians got
Because they,
reservations, no?
right, but what happened when those instances, those are mass countries, like you take Brazil, it's easy for them to give to the indigenous, but Belize is too small in that area, and that is what is creating the problem for us. If we had massive amount of land down there, we would have been solved that long ago and give them the community rights.
And
But
not only that, but we have people living there that have been living there for years. A lot of East Indians, as far as I recall, there were a lot of East Indians in PG. Yeah, you have a lot of Garino down there in PG, and even some Creole. Look at Wilmy here. What category does he fit in?
well, they're not coming into the town, of course. These are more out in the villages like um, Colombia, Otosha, Dolores, and the villages. But what it caused the problem is that, and remember first, when they took a center of a village and they extended it out a certain distance, a radius, and then they put a circle around and they said, well, okay, this would be the land for this one. Now, you go to another village and you do the same thing. Now, the lands might not overlap. But what happened? They said that, well, that would be too small for them. Then some of the lands, as you recall, was overlapping with lands that people were living on, which were not Mayan Indians. As you rightly said, they were Creole and East Indians. Now, I understand that the last time they went back to the court, and I was reading on it not long ago, it seems that they are coming to some position now to finalize it. But again, that's another problem there.
I think the people should be involved, though. The populace has to be and this might be where we fall short in many instances. There is not enough, and again, the media, this fourth estate, Gregory, they are not performing the function that you stated, Joe, that they should be informing the people and whatnot. A lot of it is political motivated. A lot of it are private interests. A lot of it, I imagine, the sponsors have to be pleased also because they do have to, and many times government is the biggest sponsor of many of these programs. So there are a lot of things that has compromised the media, and it's unfortunate because that definitely an integral part of our society. If not governance, then certainly the whole scope of living for us. No. Um,
Well,
I,
I would say they're almost on the front line in defending our
Yeah, my
democracy.
internet giving
And they
trouble.
should anyhow.
okay, we hear you though, Jeremy. I'm still looking good. I was still looking. I'm not saying about looking good, but you're still looking. We're still
You
seeing you.
you look
Can
like
you?
one man. You look like one an NBA man with a cock on a boy stick.
Yeah, yeah. You know me, I got puck on the boy stick here, the rifle. Eh,
I had the musket, yes.
the
But
musket.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I put G Michael in the front line and I stand behind he.
Make we
okay.
yeah, Alea, like you do us in down there in Palestine when you yes. I see some videos that when they put them poor people in march, and maybe we're not talking enough about that. But I'm want to go on to something before we even get there. All right, here, Colin, we're
Yeah.
going to see what Greg they say. If you look at how much the government spends on the education budget and the number of students in our primary schools, is that where you got your 3 million from, Greg? Because then. Uh, I figure the school year by $15 per student, 900 students. I don't think that brings you to for the year 3 million. You had my head with any kind of match this. So, but I don't know. I don't think I I they do come over. They do get education. I have absolutely no problem with that. These are children. You never know what they grew up to be. Many of these children might come over here, meet Belizean children, grow up and be good friends. Some of them might marry one another. So, and they might, some might decide to live in Belize and help build Belize. I have no problem with that. I really, and that's the way I said that the
Oh,
problem I
It's a great at only 13,500.
see, you know, you add up, you know,
Not per day.
that per day per student. So yeah, I
Per day. Now we are multiply that by how much? How many school days a day?
365. Well, it wouldn't be 365. It the maximum, and I say 200.
But anyhow, he give a formula, which is good. I thought that he picked it out at the budget. He's doing
Uh,
an estimate. He's saying that he's estimating that it costs $15 a day, and that 900 students come. So I would say that he has a basis, not necessarily factual, but a formula for.
but
He
but,
didn't
but
just,
that
he didn't
15
just, he didn't just grab it out of the air. I think he's using a formula.
that $15 that based upon what you have to wonder where you get that from the, it's the salary of the teachers per day.
Well, I was just saying that I asked and he put up a formula. Well, I'm not going into know the assumptions. That's another matter. I would say that he made an attempt, and I will give him credit for making. He has a formula.
Okay.
I wouldn't want. I'm not going into at this time questioning the assumptions he's making based on a formula.
Obviously, it costs us something because we
Yeah,
have to have the
anyway,
teachers there. Though at the end of the
I
day,
thought
we'd have to have teachers teaching in classrooms anyway. So
it's a point he's making, and he's trying to reinforce his point by doing estimation based on a formula that is a sense of the formula.
yeah. I'm just hoping that we'll be able to move past this at some point, and not because for the most part, the way it has affected us to this point has been purely paranoia, purely being afraid. We have not been affected except that you said in down the Sarstoon, which is a river hardly anybody visit, a clump of mangrove over that's called an island. Hardly anybody knows about that or goes there. So I am not I have not seen any aggression on Guatemala's part. And you could call me naive if you want, but we have not seen tanks rolling down our streets. We have not seen that. So anyway, make a move past that. I want to talk about free movement of people between countries. We have four countries,
Yep.
Belize included, that have decided we're going to have free movement, regional integration. It is called. Any concerns about it, Joe? Any thoughts?
Are you referring to the CARICOM countries? Or?
Yes.
Well, yeah, in the CARICOM countries, as we all should know, that when we signed the Treaty at Chagaramas back in the 60s, thereabout, the treaty envisaged that we'll arrive at this point. So when we signed the treaty, we started with what we call a Caribbean Free Trade Association, CARIFTA. At that point, it was just free trade. But the treaty had already foresee or put position in there that one day we'll move beyond a free trade and we're going in to our economic union. Ultimately, we could go into a political union, but that's a bit far-fetched. So we are reaching the stage now of the economic union. So then we had the CSME. The CSME is the Caribbean sucks. This it's the movement, the Caribbean single market and economy. So now that we are moving towards the Caribbean single market and economy, being a single market, we are beginning to have full free movement. And then they begin the free movement with professionals first. So we're at a stage right now where we have, in the case of the professions, there is a model, there's a model law that each profession, the accounting, engineering, medicine, each one of us are charged with the responsibility to develop the model law. And then there will be a law also where they are called the single registration. So using accounting as an example, once I am qualified in Belize as a practicing accountant, it means that right across the CARICOM countries where all have the same standards. So if I want to go and practice in Barbados, I can go. I want to practice in not one of them. No, not all of them subscribe to it as yet. So that was something I listened to Mia Matley spoke on it, and she spoke quite wisely on it. He said because we all knew from then that this was the direction we were going. But you have one or two countries which seems to be kind of not too into it. They believe that their market can be flooded. But
Let,
I suppose that
but some of that roll it.
in other words, CARICOM, which is the Caribbean community, the states that we are supposed to have free movement.
Right.
Of,
So we signed on to it a while back, and now we're implementing it.
that's right, we are implementing.
But not everybody's on board yet. But
Well, I think
but
some
these
of
four
them-
countries, being what Dominica, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, and Barbados and Belize have decided let us get this ball rolling. Now, Gregory was saying that he's in favor of it because it will balance out the demographics and it won't be only Central American countries. Here we go. Good decision because it gives a balance in demographics. I'm thinking he's talking about people of color
Yep.
as opposed to Hispanics, which is sound a bit Trumpian to me. That isn't that the same thing Trump is trying to do that we're objecting to? And why would that make a difference if we're to talk about professionals? We're to talk about people. There are some qualifications apparently that you need to meet. And I heard somebody was saying today that we're talking about people who have something to give to society as opposed to the scraps of the earth. But I don't know, Gregory. That sounds xenophobic. I have a problem with that because people are people, and I don't. I've heard singers been singing about it for years. Martin Luther King was saying, "Let us stop looking at the color of skin and look at the content of character." I am
You
big on
remember
that,
that.
but we can't seem to get past that. Why? What is this on a dark skin? I'm a light skinned individual, all right. My grandfather was black as the ace of spade, son of a former slave. But I don't see where that has, and I'm not enamored with this blackness. And some people are, as if you got that if it gives you some, it's the same kind of racism that makes white people think they're better than black people. For
but,
black people to think they're better, it's ridiculous, man.
but Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
Gregory is giving his opinion, but that's not the reason why we are integrating the way we are. It's not to worry about demographics. That's Gregory is giving his opinion why he supports it, but that's not what it is.
But here he comes again. Okay, he's a survivor, the black man in Belize. Yes, okay.
Number
But
what I'm
he's
saying,
entitled to that
Gregory,
opinion.
Gregory
I
is
I got
am,
no
giving,
problem with that.
I'm not. I have no problem with
Yeah.
him for
he's
that
giving
opinion.
he's giving an opinion as to why he supports it, but that's not the reason for it. The reason came, one, because we all happen to be colonies of the same master. Remember, we started with the West Indian Federation, right? And that didn't work. One from 10 leaves nothing. When the one break away, be done. Then after that, remember the West Indian Federation? That was an attempt by the British to bring administrative titles to Alloway and put Alloway in a one. Belize objected. Then one or two countries. Then when Jamaica pulled out, that's what they like. And the second move,
That was a precursor to CARICOM, wasn't it?
yeah, it was a precursor, but no, not to CARICOM. The West Indian Federation was a British idea.
All
We
right,
want-
but they're basically the same concept of the Caribbean community coming together and all the former colonies.
Yeah, the concept.
Right.
Except but with the Treaty of Tagaramas, it was an initiative of the people of the Caribbean. The
All right,
people-
as opposed to the white slave master.
that's
It
right.
wasn't. It wasn't Spooner. It was me and you.
Yeah. But it had nothing
You
to
know,
do.
I can
because of
appreciate Mr. Morrison's opinion in the sense that when I grew up in Belize, Belize was a black nation. It was predominantly black. And now they are a minority, and Belize has become Latinized. Is that the word?
Latinized. Okay.
Yeah, and that's also I can appreciate the sentiments of Americans also in the USA. It is a white country, still is, but in 2045, they will be overseeded by the minorities, and I
It
think that
never was a white country. Get out of
it
here.
is a white country.
No,
It's
it
a white
wasn't.
country.
It was an Indian country.
Forget about
Let's
that.
say
Forget
India.
about that.
How can you forget about that? That's the foundation of that country. That,
Yes, but it was
that's like
conquered. It was
that's
so.
like
Let's
Israel
deal with
saying,
reality. G. Michael, deal with reality. Yes, it was an Indian territory. It was
and
taken
and
away
and the
from them,
genocide and
and it
all of that we
became a
should forget about.
European white country. Okay, they built it. All right.
No, no, no. The blacks
So
built it. The slave labor
blacks never
built
built
it.
it. They helped build it.
What do you mean
Okay,
help built it? They're the
of
ones who
course
did all
they.
the work. The
Come
white
on.
people did no work. They just owned the
Oh, you
slaves.
okay? All right. I now get into that kind of argument there, but they started, they initiated it, and they built it, and then slavery came about because they couldn't do that kind of labor in the south and so on, and it was cheaper to have slave. Probably an economic decision. But I'm just
When
saying,
when
I'm
did
just
that?
trying to relate to you. I lived in America, so did you.
Yes,
Okay, just
yes.
the just like the sentiment of the black man in Belize, he's losing his country. He does not
But
represent
it's
Belize anymore.
foolish. It's
Huh?
foolish. It
Okay.
is
Well,
foolish.
but it's a reality. And the same thing in America. Okay. They want to go back to where they see that they're losing their power and they're going
And
to be a
make
minority.
America great again
I
as a
guess
white
so.
nation. But you're wrong on so many fronts there.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell
Uh,
me what I'm wrong at.
when Columbus supposedly came over in 1492, correct?
Yes.
And you are telling me America built themselves from then until when did slavery come into effect?
Well, America
17 or
started with
17,
the Pilgrims when they first went into Plymouth and that area there, and then they gradually
1492,
expanded. They
around that
gradually
time.
expanded. I can't remember all the dates.
So they
Okay, but
didn't
there
build
was not
themselves
slavery
into no
there for a
white
long
country.
time.
There was no white country ever. It was white. It was the
It
white man
became a
and
white
the
country, G
Indians.
Mike. You know, to listen to me. It became a white country, became a
It never
European
became. I'm
descendant
saying
country.
I'm not that I'm not listening to you. I'm not
Yeah.
agreeing with you.
Okay.
It never became a white country because the Indians were all there and they're still there. Then when the black man came in, they brought the black man because the Indians couldn't work as hard. So then the black
Blacks are
man,
only 13% of the population, you know.
who is,
The blacks are only 13% of the American population.
but you think it's growing to the point where they will overtake the white population?
No, the Spanish will. You add up the Asians, you add up the Latin people, and you add up the black people there. White Americans will be overrun. They will no longer be a majority. And do you know that if you look, these immigrants make up the largest part. I did the statistics about several years ago. Don't know if it's changed, but German immigrants, of all the white people that are all the Europeans that are in America, make up the largest amount of the population. If you look at, if you include the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh, and the English, they are the biggest. But if you take them individually, Scottish individually, Irish individually, the Germans supersede them in the percentage of the population. Now, I don't know what it is today, but a few years ago, when I did that research, that I was surprised to find that out.
But
But
gentlemen,
it was a white run country. It was a majority
It was
white
a white run country.
and
I'll agree with
majority
you on that.
whites. A majority whites.
what he's saying is true, Mr. Chan. What happened, remember, it was the Native Americans first, you know. They were the
Yeah,
first.
and I
Then, of
accept that.
course, then Columbus came and discovered it. And discovery never mean that they're the first person to find it.
Yeah,
It means that in the minds of the Europeans,
that's
But
right. They
yeah,
discovered it
it
for the
is.
Europeans.
Yeah, so he discovered it in that sense. Then, of course, they begin to come. Then, after a while, of course, they begin to kill out they begin to kill out the Native Americans. But then more and more were coming from Europe. So there was a time when then they bring the slaves. They came, of course, as chattels. But the truth about it, there came a point when the Caucasians did overcome the population. They did it, and up to today, they are still the majority. But it is forecast that the minorities,
right.
particularly with the Latinos and the blacks, they will outnumber them. And that is one of the
So
things that,
let me see if I get it right, Spooner. You're agreeing with um, Gregory in extension of agreeing with Trump that they have to be concerned that their country is the white is being overwhelmed. by people of color. And in Belize, Gregory is concerned that the black is being overwhelmed by people of less color. So what I say it so Belize is a country first of all. To say it's a black country, no, no. The Belize is no longer majority black. I believe about 55% Hispanic at this point and climbing. Yes, or non-black. Then let's put it that way. But again, I am hoping that at some point we will get past this color thing or this ethnic thing and look at people for what they can contribute to the development of the country. And there are many people who are, you Spooner, you're not a crime committing person, or not the crime you can catch you with anyway.
Just that you
Um,
all don't know what I've done. Yes.
exactly. So, but you are a part of you're a Belizean, yes, but just the fact that you have different pigmentation, uh,
Sorry.
uh, I think it should not be a concern for
That
us.
hold on.
Yeah, where
I
did
think
it?
the,
Did
I
I
think the,
say something?
I think the concern I have, and I've expressed it
I'm right
before,
here again. Yeah.
is that I feel indeed that there was somewhat a betrayal of the Creole. And I've said that before. And I think that the betrayal came simply because, one, not because we were 71% going into independence, the years before independence. The 71% was in the vanguard of the resistance to colonialism in this country. I was 8 years old when the people
Joe,
just
Joe, Joe, Joe. Go ahead. Sum it up, man, Joe, because you carried on through, don't want a rabbit hole and I do it run wrong to try to figure out what you to say. But go ahead, because there's so much more to talk about
why you
here.
not do something, Mr. Chairman?
Uh-huh.
Give me one time. How long
No,
you
no,
want?
no, no, no. Why? Yeah,
Like
that
Rosalie Staines would have said, make the man talk. Make the man talk.
you could talk yourself. Go ahead, go ahead. Give yourself the same time, but just
Mr.
try to.
Chairman, we don't have to bring in
Uh,
the time, Because you talk too much. Make we talk. What I'm saying is simple, it's quick. Make it fast for you. I am saying that today they're only 25%, right? To me, the people who I see behind the cashiers, behind the cash registers on south side of this city and certain parts are not the people I saw that was fighting for independence for this country. That's my point. No, the mistake we made, there's only 4% or less that is at the commanding heights of this economy, and that is a fact. No, every immigration policy has to take into account why you are bringing people here. You got to have one reason. We never had to bring nobody to teach us how to fry chicken, how to sell rice and beans, how to do lottery, how to sell marijuana. We didn't. I am saying that immigration policy failed us. And at the end of the day, today, the commanding heights of this economy is in the distribution sector. And the Creole has a little, almost zero in it. The contribution sector, distribution sector is controlled by the Asiatics. And I would say the Mennonites, who I believe contributed more, despite they were enclaves. So
Joe.
let us not simple.
Yeah. But, all right. Listen to me. Tell me something, please. When the Central American people came in and started to plant, because Belizean people were doing these small planting, but you know what they do? They run the states, many of them. And if they didn't go, maybe we'd still be where we were then, and we'd be living here in a little corner by ourselves with nobody to come bother away. But when the Central Americans came in and started to plant, then our market starting to boom. We have produce that even some of it is exported outside. Is there any benefit from that you can see, or is it the fact that the color of the skin is so very important that we
I
have to safeguard that?
no, I think we need to understand what brought them here. Remember, there was a period of civil wars in the whole of
Joe,
Central America.
yeah,
Civil wars. And they were coming over by the thousands. They come from Guatemala. They came from Honduras. And a lot of them came from Salvador. and they came to Belize illegally. Evidently, they were squatting on lands because Belize is very sparse. Its population is sparse. We have thousands and thousands of acres that were not being populated. So they came. They were illegal. Then after that, sometime they felt that, well, listen, we have to put a stop to this. We have to regularize it. The United Nations came in and financed the regularization of it and set up, they paid for it, that they will now make all of them Belizeans. And that is when that number really became Belizeans. So the truth about it, that was because of the civil wars. And they were coming in. Remember, within this part of the region, we talk about 134 million people. Guatemala alone with 18 million. So they came, and that's how they got here. Now, let's look at the situation, as you rightly said to some extent just now. Let's call it the Creole. That was in 1961 hurricane in this country that devastated this country. The Americans were good to us. They were good. And the British allowed some of them to go to the States and they joined the army. Many of them from Placentia had gone. They took up the offer after the hurricane. Then the Americans gave free pass to many of us to help us because of the hurricane. So they went to America. There was a greener pasture for them. So what was happening when you watch and how population move, how immigration takes place? When countries are next door, not far away, which is more developed, and your country, you're under oppression. There is no democracy, there is no freedom, there is no good education. You can't look after your family. You're going to a greener pasture. You will move. So we have to look on these things that had happened to us and how we got where we are. Now, if we had carried out, apart from those came in numbers, those were numbers now. And I agree that they were in agriculture. But what about that less than 4%? That 4% that came, they took over the commanding heights of the economy. The thousands that came and were legalized in this country never take over this country the way that 4% or less did. So I could more relate to the people who were leaving because of the oppression they were going through. So I'm more sympathetic to them. Those same ones from across during the Civil War. This immigration thing, that is why Trump is a sick man. Sick. If they had not done what they did to the Central American countries and exploiting them and leave them in a kind of poverty, those people would not be giving their lives to go to America. They were going there because they were looking for a better life, just like Belizeans were looking for a better life. And the same way, some of the Latin Americans were coming here to look for a better life. So people move.
And it's the same way, but you're saying things that, Joe, by you saying that, it kind of gives the impression, you know what, we don't know it. Most people don't, you have to say, you don't have to say that. We went to America too. People move. Yes, people move. All of us move around. But again, the point I'm getting to, can we look at what people contribute to where they are as opposed to what they are? Really, at some point, we have to get to that point because the way we're going now, and even with a conflict with Guatemala, and we are more than 53% Hispanic. Now, if on black country the fight, where you think the black people from this country who going to fight with? If on black country the fight with a Spanish country, where you think the black people from this country would fight with? The black country, correct? Don't you think? In fact, especially given that affinity with our color and whatnot, that importance of we playing it. Now, you have a problem with a Spanish country like that. Who you think the Spanish people going to fight with?
I don't have a problem with it, and let me tell you why. How much are we aware that we are a part of SICA? SICA is a Central American counterpart to CARICOM. Belize is supposed to be the bridge between CARICOM and the Central American countries.
Was supposed to, yeah. The potential was there for that. Never lived up to it.
It is still there. No.
Never lived up to it.
Mr. Chairman, we are evolving towards it.
We were supposed to be the fruit basket of the Caribbean. Never lived up to it.
Yes, but I think I am saying to you that the fruit basket would have been Guyana and Belize because of the land area. Fine. That did not happen, but we did improve our agriculture. We still think that when it comes to that, we are bigger than the rest, except maybe Guyana. Guyana right now is oil.
How
But
did
petrol,
we improve? How did we improve that agriculture? Who helped to improve that agriculture? Did the black Belizeans go out there and plant and bring it to where it is now?
Mr. Chairman, you realize that there was a time when the River Valley was the breadbasket for this city.
Yes.
And who you think were there?
Yes.
Who you think was in?
That's
Who you
that
think
has
was in?
that, but
Who you
that
think
is
was in
not
Barrel Boom?
that is not answering the question, Joe.
I am answering it for you. I am saying to you.
You're not the answer. You're the
I'm
throwing.
answering the question. Do not believe that Creole Belizeans were not ready to be farmers when the River Valley was the breadbasket for
So
us.
how did they not become farmers?
Chairman, we come got a boom, and then
Yes.
come keep
Oh,
it.
Joe, you see this at a point. Stick to the issue, man. How did we not become farmers? What
No,
stopped us from
no,
becoming
what I am
farmers?
saying to you, there is no such thing that we will stop from being farmers. Nobody stopped.
All right. So what happened?
My uncle was a Creole, and he had a big farm at Siboon. No,
Yes.
man, we have another. No, no, I don't know what. I don't. You know something? I have to ask. Where is the evidence? Is it written? History is a humanized issue. Where is it written that the Creole were averse to agriculture? That somebody made it stop and nonsense. That's not true.
But nobody said that. Where are we today? Who are the ones doing the farming?
Growing up, the blacks were doing the farming.
Growing up, the black. We're not growing up now. We're damn grown already.
Now
Are
it's
you
the
missing my
Spanish.
point?
Now
So
it's
that
the
now
Spanish.
then, how did we get there? Did the Spanish stop the Creole from planting and they took their land away? Or
No,
did the
I don't
Creole
think
just
it's
say
that.
we're not gonna do this like the white Americans say in America? We're not picking no grapes. We're not picking any cherries or stuff like that.
Mr. Chairman, I must differ strong with you on this one. I don't know where you get your information from. But to me, it was suggesting.
First of all, what information are you hearing from me
No,
that you don't know where I'm getting?
I am getting from you just now, and please, if I am wrong,
Yes.
correct me right now.
Yes.
That the Creole was
Uh-huh.
averse to agriculture.
I didn't say I didn't say that. I didn't say
Well,
that.
my apology.
If they didn't pursue it.
Okay.
Did they pursue it?
Okay. I didn't know them of not pursuing it.
Oh, you think so? They did. You think they did?
Of course they did.
So why are they not farming now? Why are they not the ones farming now? Why are
Something
we?
changed.
Let me say we.
Something
Huh?
changed that whole dimension.
Yes. What changed it?
Maybe the immigration of blacks or Creole to the United States.
That
Maybe
certainly contributed.
Maybe attitude to that kind of work and the new generation.
And is
don't
that
want to
not
be
what
farmers.
is that not what I'm saying? Is that not exactly what I am saying?
Yeah.
Or am I not saying it the way you would like to hear it said?
Mr.
They
Chairman,
dropped,
do you remember
the
that?
Creole dropped the ball and the Hispanics
Who
picked
was
it up.
it?
Is that not what I'm saying? Then the Mennonites, yes, the Mennonites came in and Mr. Jones is saying the Mennonites
broke
are
up again.
doing
Sorry, I
most
lost
of
you
the
guys.
farming. I don't. They're doing their share, but they're not the ones that you see in the market with all the vegetables and stuff. No.
Let me ask you the question right here now. We are beginning, if you listen to the State of the Nation address, I think that State of the Nation address emphasized and outlined most of it was an investment in this country. And if you look at it, there was about, apart from the investment in the port, which will have the accommodate 4 vessels, and then they want to dig the channel at 800 million, that's the biggest. But the rest of it was all in industrialization through agriculture. And it was over 270 million. And they were in what? In corn, in soybean, they were in soursop, they were in papaya. And many of these things, they are owned and managed by Creoles.
You're talking about this year's State of the Union address?
Yes, must read it. Because I thought, on the face of it at the top, I'm not saying that I could not criticize it. I could find reasons why maybe it is. But I would say that much of it was referring to investments. Much of that State of the Nation.
In the Creole.
No. I'm saying look at the investment and look at where the investment is coming from and who is working those investments.
Right.
So I don't think if you want to look at maybe What the lady name with the pepper? The famous lady.
Marie Sharp, Marie Sharp.
Sharp.
All right, Marie Sharp would not be considered a Creole. It depends on who you want to describe Creole.
How would you define her? How would you describe her?
A Creole as a Creole.
Now, how would you describe her?
As
As
a
a
To me, a
Creole.
Creole,
Creole and black
okay.
person.
I thought you said she would not be described as a
No, I
Creole.
am saying some people may not, but I am saying to you, I use her as an example because I think she's a Creole, and she's a successful Creole.
I think
I
she's a
have seen-
Belizean.
Mr. Chairman, let me give you another example, and these are facts. The Christian Council of Churches financing loans to this country up to $100,000. A bulk of it went into the River Valley, and I was sitting on the board. And the majority, in fact, 100% of them in the River Valley were all Creoles. There was a lady, powerful woman, because they were building vats and all. They were all Creole in River Valley. And they started a lot of agricultural products. Some of them got money in Belize City. They started biscuit. Same Darrell Carter there. I think it's on Creole. He was funded by the same group. Then you had this guy, he was from Nigeria, one of them, but he lived at Belize. And he got $100,000 with loan Creole. And he went into Stann Creek and started farming there. So I don't know who to get this idea. And I don't know, I'm glad I know that you're going to say, I think this suggests as if Creole people don't want to do agriculture.
But see, you're arguing
Showcasing smoke.
you're arguing the wrong argument though, because that you're arguing against something that I didn't present. That I present on
That's what I'm
straw man.
saying.
That one
I'm glad-
different argument altogether.
I'm glad
I
Mr.
did not
Chairman
say
didn't-
that.
I'm glad
I
that you didn't say it.
where
Because
are we?
I'm saying-
And the question is up there right now. Where are we now? And you're saying that we had such a propensity for farming. We had all this money put into farming. And even now, all this money is going into farming and favoring the black man farming. Where are we now and why are we not where we should be?
When I say we, you're referring to the Creole?
The Creole, yes.
Where are they now? And
Yes. Yes. Where are we with all of that infrastructure that was put in, all that money that was put in, all that $100 million that came and gave? Where's this guy that went down south to farm, and all the people in the River Valley that got money to farm? What happened? Why we are not now controlling the bulk of the farmland and the bulk of the produce of coming out of farming?
It's because they choose not to go into farming. Some of them they didn't.
I did that. Is that not
But
what I
remember-
said, Joe?
Yeah, but remember, you didn't forget something. When we had the 71% of the population, today we have 25%. I am saying to you, when that 71% of that population was Creole, relatively speaking, there was a large amount that was in farming. So
Joe, of course you'd have to have that, but you're enamored with the fast man.
all I want to make clear, once and for all, I will not go any further into the discussion because I don't want to be getting into no ethnicity. But I keep maintaining that I believe that if governments, and I'm speaking in the generic sense, both of them, had taken more time out to deliver upon the promises that they made for this city, particularly for the Creoles, perhaps we would not have so many gangs today.
And you say that to say what?
I'm saying to say because there were some opportunities that should have been made to them. Mr. Chairman, when you are among equals, you can have equality. But when you are among unequals, you have to have proportionality. And we have to understand that we should have, we didn't. Now today, how can 4% of this population control every 70, 80, 90% of the economy? Evidently, we created a disparity, inequality. And the evidence is there from all the economic reports coming out, how the inequality is growing.
The inequality.
I must have missed it. Who's this 4%?
If you look at the last census,
Okay.
and you take out the Hispanics, which is the majority, I think they are about what, 56%. They are about. You look at the Creole, it's at 25%.
Okay.
And then you're left with about 20 odd. In that 20 odd, the next big ones I think are you have the Garifuna, you have the Mayans. And when it came down, what you're left with was the Asiatic, the Chinese, the Indians,
Okay.
and the Mennonites. And they were only within that 4%. The who controls, it's evident from the visible wealth of this country. Who is controlling the distribution sector? Who?
That
Evident. Anybody could
4%.
see. That's right.
Yeah.
When the Mennonites came under, I don't have to call names though, under George Price, I saw the benefit for bringing them here. We had the land, the country, because of its sparse population, it had a heavy overhead. It's costing us for administration overhead, and it still does. So the idea that we have all this land, these people are noted for farming. They are very good in farming.
They're productive immigrants.
Very, very. Because they're all over the, in fact,
Whereas you're saying that, and I agree with you if you are
what
saying
the
that
government
that
did at the time,
4%
the
they
government
just
said,
take out of the economy.
let's bring them here,
The
put
American
them on
can.
the land, and they got benefits, they got some incentive, fiscal incentive. That lasted for a while. No, they were somewhat economic enclaves. That's the only problem I had with them at the time. They became economic enclaves. It's only over the years now they begin to loosen up. But when you look back at them, they did their contribution. They did. They
I
never
admire the
acquire,
Mennonites.
they never acquire do merchandising. Where
right.
is the skill needed for merchandising? Where is the skill needed to fry chickens? Where is the skill needed to sell marijuana? Where is the skill needed to sell lottery? These were all the Creole industries, let's call them that. They run the marijuana, they run the lottery, they run the restaurants, they run the grocery shops. They
So
were
why they
the
let it go then? What did they do? They scammed it from Belize and just gone and left way?
no. We'll leave it for another time. I think
Leave
just
for
Oh,
another
but,
time.
I don't think so. But I don't think you should
no,
because with the deal,
no
Sonny.
one, all right.
May I now? Because may I
What
speak, Joe?
they
You
find
say if I left you and talk all night, Joe, and this and Spooner say make it talk, make it finish. Who said Rosalind Stein? I
It's
listen.
my Bali Joe alone.
Let me say something right here. When do we get to the point where we look at Mennonites, make them understand if you're a Belizean, you're a Belizean first. You don't know a Mennonites, then you're a Belizean. Okay, we're living here in this one place called Belize. We are Belizeans, and we don't want to be Belizeans. Whatever contribution you make to this country, then we will all move forward together. You need a fair tax system where everybody pays their share going forward. I think we need to look at that part of it as opposed to who black and who Spanish and who the Mennonites and who that is. Are we Belizeans? Because that's the only way we're going to survive in this new world. That's all we can do to survive. Not look for one because if we go fight, then only the black man going to fight. We'll hope that everybody would fight to keep this country free. That's the only way we can win.
Mr. Chairman, I owe you my apology because I thought that you had been provocative. Maybe you were not. But it's not the first time I hear it. And I don't want to discuss it really because I don't want to be seeming that I'm xenophobic or I am, against certain ethnicity in this country. But I have heard it said too many times about the Creole and lazy, the Creole and this, the Creole and that. I'm not saying you did it. My mother was a Creole. She was. But she was in the vanguard of the struggle for the independence of this country. She was there with George Price from the beginning. And they were all Creoles. And I am not here to separate us. I am not there to say, well, this one you're white and that one black, what I did with. No, I am not into no black power movement. But I want to voice something right here since I mentioned black power. You see that same UBAD movement, United Black Association for Development? They did a damn good job for this country. During that period of UBAD,
Hold up. Before you go into the history of it, what good job did they do?
you know what it did? And I was around in this country and I lived it. I saw it.
Joe. Now go to the history, man. Because again, I'm worried with that, and you're not stick to the point. What did
I am
they
saying
do
to
so
you
good? Yes,
that
I know what you're saying.
what they did was the same thing Martin Luther and Malcolm X did for the blacks in America. They increased their consciousness and awareness of themselves.
And where are
Because,
we? Where are we as a
because,
result of that?
because I believe that it did where we are.
Yeah, yeah. Where are we?
If you
Where are
had
we?
lived, if you had lived the period, Mr. Chairman, in Belize during institutionalized racism in this city, you'd have understand what it was like to be living here.
What
You
period?
can't,
What period was that?
you can't get job in the banks. You
I
can't
said
get job
all
in
the
the
time.
oil
The one about the
companies.
bank.
You couldn't get jobs because it was institutionalized racism in the country, in the
Yeah.
city. That's what I'm saying. That's a
But
fact.
see, you see how you create another argument that you can win
No,
and
because I told you,
nobody can argue against, and you went
I,
away
I
from
told
the
you what
point you were
I told you
making.
what I thought you bad did for the city, for the country, and I thought it was a good thing. No, you know why I don't care to get into this discussion? Because it's very sensitive, and I could be misunderstood as if though I may be saying that I do not appreciate the other pigmentations of this country. That is not true. I don't believe in a garden of all lilies.
I
I
got
believe
Spooner
the
right in front
garden,
of you.
the beauty of course, and I know I can speak about Spooner father even more than I can about him
Do
because
you
he's his father, and
do you think
I had a great respect for his father.
that this gentleman hi Kevin, by the way, John Kevin Jones there, thanks for being involved. There was a ladies group in Ontario village that started poultry, and it was messed up due to taking their contract. They were a Creole group. So did they take away their contract? Is that what you're saying? A couple of words are missing in there. It was messed up due to the taking their contract, and they were a Creole group. Um, do you know of that, Joe? I know a group of people that started some chicken farming, and they were actually Guyanese. And they had to give up because the Mennonites pressured them out. And they've done that. There are more than one groups that have tried to start that they get pressured out. Now, this is where we need a level playing field. We need a government that's looking out for Belizeans, you see. Um, it seemed though that because they come in with the extra money and whatnot, and Joe, you were there. You uh, uh, why is the game played that way?
There were two governments that we have in this country, two parties that is that ever form a government. The United Democratic Party first came into government in 1984. We can recall a period when the two of them had messed up with visas and with passports. And who were they selling them to? Everybody should know that. That's it.
Now,
That's
now what about the economic citizenship? You recall how that happened, and
I know exactly how it started.
did it do us well, or didn't do us well?
You know what they did? They bastardized it. And let me tell you why. You know how the economic citizenship started? I will give credit to Harry Courtney. I believe it was his idea, but he was the one who was really, and the guy was a very good orator. He can speak well in a restaurant.
So is that credit or blame?
No credit. What happened? We knew that Hong Kong was going back to China. And we were trying to begin to make overtures because Hong Kong economy is not developed on big corporations like America. The economy is developed on families. The families own corporations, own business. They're not like in America with the big corporations where they got stock market and whatnot. And we saw an opportunity where we can bring some of them to Belize because they might not want to live under China. And that was when the idea was seeded, and we begin to push it to economic citizenship. We're going to try to reach out to families, by families, and offer them economic citizenship, but bring wealth, bring factories, big money to develop the country. That was the idea. Unfortunately, it got out of hand. And that is how it turned out, where they begin to bastardize it and abuse it. But it was never intended for that.
All right, Jerome. Thanks for checking in. Hey, Jerome. How are you doing? Ethnicity is even more important now as it relates to the Belizean economy than it did when the country became independent. 'Cause, 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 The Mennonites and the Chinese have significant social capital as small ethnic groups with resources. Um, did these ethnic groups, the Chinese and did they bring money? Like you were saying, the Chinese, you were courting them because of the money they could bring. Did they bring money? Because many of them don't seem extremely wealthier, but they become wealthier. I mean, after a couple of years. But did they or did they not bring money with them? The Mennonites, for instance, did they bring money?
They brought hard work with them.
You know, the Mennonites had to bring capital. They did. They brought capital, but they also brought technology in farming.
They again though the point I'm trying to get at is, are we gonna get to a point where we can move past the ethnicity and look at the Belizeanness of all our people and get everybody to understand, regardless of who you are, where I got like 6 different me. I don't know where I for do, who I for be, but I can only be me. So I can be me and not contribute to the detriment that is country, but contribute to the development that is country in whatever way I can. I believe if all of us can do that and look at this as a one country, a beautiful country that's worth living in, and we could look back on how some getting citizenship and who have citizenship and is not enjoying it here and all of that. But at the end of the day, those who have committed to being a part of the growth and development of this country should be looked at from that perspective, as opposed from where they are, who you are, what their ethnic group,
Well,
what their pigmentation, how their melanin stand.
one of the highlights of the PUP administration with Mr. Price was exactly to bring us together as Belizeans first. And we were not to go.
And a noble goal, don't you think?
Exactly. I think so. It was and still is. It was not to look at each other as Garifuna and Creole and Mestizo. Because in the days, I mean, there are not many of us. We apart from the Mayans, the Garifuna, the Belizeans, well, let's call them the Creole and the Mestizo. There are about 4 or 5 groups. But even with that, we wanted us to all come together and Belizeans first.
Salam says, which is going right against what we're saying here, that here the Maya is awakening.
Or working.
Are working.
They say are working. So they're working in what are they? What do they do? What are they producing? But isn't that mostly just one family thing? Because they're not. Are they producing and putting into the market and making available to the country and to helping in the growth of that?
But I can tell you for sure that in the 60s and up, you know who was providing rice, beans, and corn for this country?
Yeah.
The Mayans.
Okay.
Because remember, the marketing board, the main part of the marketing board was in PG. And PG was where the rice was coming from and the beans and the corn to Belize City, to the marketing board here to distribute to the country.
So what happened?
Then you had a company came in. I forget the name of it. They were there by right across the river. What was the name? They were big. And yes, they gone into rice. Big Falls. Remember Big Falls?
Isn't that the one who got Vin Holtzman involved with?
That's right. And I don't think it took away from them as much, because what we do then, Big Falls begin to export. And what Big Falls was doing, which made sense, we had the CARICOM market. And at the time, it was a case of a percentage criterion for you to get into CARICOM. So Big Falls was taking some of that local, what they produce, and we were importing from Honduras, one of them, and we mix it. But we mix it where the majority of the percentage remain what was required, and we export into CARICOM. In fact, the same thing we were doing, and who
So
were doing
Joe, but you see, no, but, yeah, please, because that way I get in. Yeah.
Can you ask me what happened? And I was
Right.
showing you
Right.
when Big Falls came, it's a big company. And yes, they came in and it was good because the Mayans were providing for the local market.
Right.
Then the Mayans were providing pigs for Mexico, the southern part of Mexico. The truck used to come way down to PG come buy pigs. Because the Mayans were the people who were cultivating pigs then.
Joe.
Then you
Joe.
had Buffalo Die. God is show you.
No, you said that big fast, but then you ran on to explain all about big fast, but then later said not big fast because big fast made the export. What you still not get to the point of what
I said to
happened?
you that
Where are the
when
Mayans now? What are they? Are they supplying anything to the
I
country?
I am telling you, I don't know what is the position right now, but I still believe they might be one of the great producers still. Then I'm saying
Let's see what Jerome to say. Just recently, I wrote about the history of the lottery, and in part of the paper, discussed how it became controlled by the Chinese. All right, he's putting up a link for those who want to read about this, how it became controlled by the Chinese. It was given to them by the government. Isn't that it? I mean, that's basically it because we
no,
had,
no.
when I grew up, there were a lot of Belizeans selling Bolido, and we were the ones doing it, correct?
Yeah, it was Belizeans, and of course it was illegal then too.
Right.
But
So
it was
they
who were the big sellers? Nacho Koi, Dickie Gardner, what the Baline, I can't bring it. You
Homer.
got Homer, but you got bigger than him. You had about 4 or 5 of them in a Belize city. Them were big. Them were the big ones.
Uh,
But it was all, remember, it was illegal then. We used to call it Panama. Because the lottery used to play in Panama, you know, the player.
but yeah, but they had Bolido during the week.
No, that was when they legalized it. Then they legalized it. And when they legalized it, I believe it was somewhere around that time it began to shift hands.
All right. Salam is saying, I don't know.
Is it correct, my friend? Maya produced rice and corned beans pigs. I think he's referring to Joe Cowie's reference to the Maya, what they were doing.
I guess they are working, no? But what they were doing, but not now.
They are
Uh,
still hardworking people. That's true.
yes, but are they? What they're producing contributing to the needs of the country and even um, exporting some of the stuff? Is that where we are with that?
I don't know how much they are producing. No. I
My
think that
opinion on immigration is that it shouldn't be based on ethnicity. It should be based on what they're going to bring to the country. I don't think we need any more supermarkets, any more Chinese restaurant frying places. I want the Chinese. They're very industrious people. Why can't we attract industrious Chinese people? Why can't that manufacture? There's one. There's a beer factory. That's one. The one up by Orange Walk that exports. They were smart. They built it in Belize, which is a CARICOM country, and that way they can export it to the Caribbean. But it gives work to Belizeans. Yeah.
you are
Yes,
quite
Joe.
right. You are quite right. Because the idea was to bring Chinese, but from Hong Kong. Because
Yeah.
they were the ones who were the helped to industrialize the country. But again, I'm saying they bastardize it. That never happened. And what they begin to do, they begin to sell the passport and sell the visas, and who will buy them? That's the answer right there.
I hear the again, and Spooner came right back to the point I've been trying to make all day. I really believe that we have to move past that point of ethnicity and skin color, and
But when is that going to happen, Joe? I mean, not Joe. I mean, G Mike. I mean, just recently, a celebrity host on a radio station promoted my place because now it's not run by white man Spooner. It's run by a black man. You see, when is
that
that? When are we going to get beyond the race thing?
is that the
Because
reason
I
why
consider myself a Belizean regardless of my color. I'm
you
just a
think
different kind of a Belizean. That's all.
you're a believe? What do I mean different kind? In a what way?
Well, okay, I've got input from my just like the Spanish Belizeans.
Yeah.
Have a
You mean you have
different
a
culture.
different color skin and you got a different ethnicity. But as far as a Belizean, what's
At the
that?
end of the
There's
day,
only
I'm
one
Belizean.
Belizean. There's only one
Yeah,
type of Belizean.
yeah,
A productive Belizean or an unproductive Belizean. And they're the
yeah. But
ones
you
who
have
commit
Garifuna
crimes.
Belizean, you have Maya Belizean, you have
Yes, but
Indian
that at
Belizean.
the end of like I said,
Yeah,
that are like what Joe would have said, with that under the constitution, those are the substantive laws. We have a basic structure over everything. We are all Belizeans.
yeah.
And until we get to the point where we understand that, and not look. I know I support you because you don't want China, and I support you for a Mennonite or a Garifano. That is ridiculous. What the product that you're bringing, is it helpful? Is it something that I can use? Is it affordable? Then we have to look at that. No, that's why we have a government too, I believe. And the government has been failing us. Consecutive governments have been failing us. That when they bring in, they have, like when you said that the lady with the least small thing, the least, for raised chicken and whatnot, she should not be pushed out by the big ones, because there should be regulations in place, man, to protect her and her little business. And if we don't do that, then of course, the big money and win, no? 'Cause at the end of the day, the money will talk.
Yeah,
And
right.
and and
Yeah.
if nothing else, that seems to supersede the skin color thing. All right.
Doing that to you is okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead. Read it, Shimai.
No, you got that about you. That to you.
Yeah, he says
Uh,
doing that to you is reverse racism, Spooner. It's not cool.
We had some good, should I say, English people, meaning from the UK. You had Spooner and Ipa.
Yeah.
You had the Soros.
but
All the Soros contributed a lot to this country. As
like
far as Danny and Ipa. Ipa was a man you couldn't find a nicer man than him.
I said,
You got
the government shall stop that long time. Government no shall make them come in at all, and we no man got this problem now. But anyway, we live with it, cause you done there.
You should not let your Pahu and Jamaica and Congolese neither.
And my grandpa, my papa,
Your
and yeah.
grandpa, I should be banning them, then we would not have you.
No, they couldn't do that because my grandmother, man, Maya Indian. So I got that too.
You're a powerful guy, you know, G Mike. You got all ethnicities in you.
But
You connected to some big
You don't know
people.
that. You don't know that same Mayan lady what you talk about? That was my great grandmother.
Oh, really? Yeah. So not related to?
I know when brag about it, but
I don't got nobody that me one day. I don't got no backative. Me one day.
It is not something I regret.
thank
But
God.
I don't regret it.
It's not something I regret, but I can't go to market with it.
Yeah, you know I get no change. You know I get nothing for it. But
Yeah.
now, guys, really, we come down to the last couple of minutes.
Oh
I
my
really I think though my point overall and throughout this whole discussion has been that as a small nation, we need to do more to get ourselves stable and self-sufficient. We need to plant, and whoever is going to plant, it doesn't matter whether Spanish Mennonites or whatnot, but they plant with the site. What they need to be looking at is how they can contribute to the welfare of the nation. We can't get none of them capitalize they do this just to make money and the whole we down in that way and hold us hostage to what they're contributing, because as Belizeans they're allowed to do it in Belize because of Belizeans. So
Next week, we have to
I
talk
will,
about the marijuana, because Pastor Wade and his converts were doing the campaign trail today. They were at Love FM, and they were on Sun Up Channel 7 this afternoon, describing of the horrors of marijuana and so on. No?
yeah, let's say hi to some of our regular listeners and some good friends: Susan, Gary, Olga, Buddy Brown, Vanessa Jenkins Young, a lady that's amazing. And we start early this year. We try to get really Christmas thing. We can see if we could rope in Buddy Brown again and do another Christmas party for our kids in this impoverished neighbor, this part of the south side that we don't like to look at it as any kind of ethnic group, but there are many children in this area that are. I posted something today because I meet and boy, and I say, whenever I meet them school age like that, and I ask them, why aren't you in school? My man never washed my uniform. Now, I think that I'm a poor excuse for a child not to be in school.
Okay. I just want to do a goodwill announcement. Austin Wade this weekend is doing a barbecue to raise funds for Nick Pollan, who is needs an operation to prevent him from being paralyzed from the neck down. So if anybody wants to support it, it's $10 a plate for barbecue chicken. Just go to Austin Waite's Facebook page. You can make your order there on whatever. Austin Waite is Mr. Waite. You would know Mr. Waite, Everett Waite's son. Yeah,
I know Austin very good.
He's on Facebook.
And you know Nick Pollard really good.
Yeah, Nick Pollard is a good man. Yeah, so
That's right.
anybody can help him out. It could be $1 or $10 or $5. But Austin is selling the barbecue for $10. Is to raise funds for Nick Pollard's operation.
He's selling it from where he lives? Sorry, I don't know.
Where he lives, yes. Right off of Coney Drive, yeah.
All right.
He has the address and the phone number. He has a post up on Austin Waite's Facebook page.
All right, and if you tell him
when I part with this thing from the Native American, he was from the Minikanji tribe. He said it's not the pigment of a man's skin that make him a Minikanji, but it's the love that he shares with his fellow brother. So let us all be the melting pot and love one another. Bye.
That sums it up. Tell her if they got a Austin Waite and tell them that they heard it here on the show. $1 from every barbecue will go to Sea Smoke to help promote the show. Want to like this? Subscribe. Stay with us. Same time next week. Same place. See why we're done here, guys. Respect.
Okay, good night, everybody. Good night, Joe. Good night, G Mike.
Good night.
All right. Vámonos.
Free Palestine.
I believe John Massive, me begging if we just live progressive because we live life to real life it will live. Not come earthquakes like Jah give. General the bow. We never forget, not forgive. Aggressive, assertive, attentive, innovative. Black people representative. We want to just lean back and check the motive. Sing out. Right now they use them, they kill one another. Right now in the time for the pray to the Father. Right now, Billy's under fire. Right now, right now, right now, right now they use them, they kill one another. Right now in the time for the pray to the Father. Right now, spread the news to your brother. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Blind lead the blind, prophecies fulfilled, signs of the time. When Satan billions, them call it white collar crime. Granny scrape the pennies, but she cannot find a dime. One more wrong under them coke and wine. Then they try this time mankind. But so them might get snatched up from behind and bleed to the eye when they bind the twine. Gather them the economy on decline. Moral fabric of society on decline. Ecosystem on decline. Them could have started all day, one thing they can't find. And that's a peace of mind. Right now they use them, they kill one another. Right now in the time for they pray to the Father. Right now, Billy's under fire. Right now, right now, right now, right now they use them, they kill one another. Right now in the time for they pray to the Father. Right now, spread the news to your brother. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Them boy they move savage. Poor people need 10 more stimulus package. To all them food, but don't cause all the damage. Boom. Yes, I don't find nothing in the wreckage. Big cigar, hunting cottage. Wife for the globe check, horse and carriage. Look like they want with it start eat out a garbage. Bump that red dot melon fi bust like cabbage. Wake up, smell the raw sewage. Junk stomach fi digest all the carnage. Poor people not fi gain no leverage. So them left with the whole is thinking luggage. Them boy never did get the message. Them read the Bible but miss certain passages. Collins pop to cartilage. Can them like once again. Collins. Right now they use them, they kill one another. Right now in the time for they pray to the Father. Right now, Billy's under fire. Right now, right now, right now, right now they use them, they kill one another. Right now in the time for they pray to the Father. Right now, spread the news to your brother. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Blind lead the blind, prophecies fulfilled, signs of the time when Satan get anti-billions, them call it white collar crime. Granny scrape the pennies, but she cannot find a dime. Bun run under them coke and wine. Then they try to shine mankind. So they might get none of the from behind and bleed through the eye when they bind the twine. Cause of them, the economy on decline. Moral fabric of society on decline. Ecosystem on decline. Them could have started all day one thing they can't find. And that's a peace of mind. Right now in the time for the prayer to the Father. Right now, Billy's under fire. Right now.
Reid with a Creole, but we no normal. With a coffee and we royal. I am a royal coffee. My style sticky like taffy. We coulda holla say me ugly, but a loon pretty girl stay to chase me. Royal coffee and my style sticky like taffy. How could you call me ugly when a loon pretty girl stay to chase me? Minor, tell you things we make you catch feelings. Your mere existence, you want left to examine. Ebenezer me gone, me know for the squeeze dumpling. Believe woman, sweet like stew pumpkin. See me, but you don't know me. Confident, say that me bossy. Inquisitive, you call me nosy. Defend me rights, holler at me chancy. Me know this show no mercy, we don't take no back chat from nobody. You know have feel like me, but you must respect me. Tell me smooth. I am a royal coffee. My style sticky like taffy. We coulda holla say me ugly, but a lone pretty girl stay to chase me. Me cool and deadly. Machine gun Kelly. Machiavelli. Stay ready like Freddy. We have woman plenty. Woman the city, woman the country. You coulda act like you no want believe me. Ask Dwight, that me ballet. I am a royal coffee. My style sticky like taffy. We coulda holla say me ugly, but a lone pretty girl stay to chase me. Royal coffee and my style sticky like taffy. How could you call me